The Leg It podcast is sponsored by Montrex. Montrex is a cutting-edge sportswear brand empowering athletes across the world, built to enhance performance and give you confidence to go the extra mile. They've got some of the most incredible products at montrex.com. There is a link below this video. Click the link and at checkout, enter the code LEGIT for 15% off your order. That's LEGIT, all one word. Everything from jackets, cargo pants, gym tops, t-shirts, running jackets, running pants. Everything is on their website, and they sponsor some of the most incredible athletes. Everything from UFC fighter Leon Edwards and a good friend of the podcast, boxer Jazza Dickens. So click the link below, use the code LEGIT at checkout for 15% off your order. Right, it's a Leg It podcast with myself, Tom Wickstead.
It's me, Andy Grant, and this week's guest is Kieran Malone.
Right, yeah, thanks.
How's it going?
Thank you very much, mate. Just before, we must mention Montrex again.
Boom.
Use the code LEGIT for 15% off your order.
Seeing the numbers, keep continuing, because, yeah, we're happy, the boys are happy, and it's Boss Gear, so, yeah, keep ordering 15% off when you type in Leg It. And yeah.
Yes, said to you boys before, seeing all their gear everywhere, so the code is clearly
follow them
working.
on Instagram as well. Yeah.
Brill.
Boom.
Thanks, Montrex.
Right, Kieran, you come across to me, don't want to blow smoke up your ass too much, but ever since I've known you a good few years now, you've come across as a very positive entrepreneur, lad similar age to myself. We mate now.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd get you on for a chat, lad.
Yeah, I know.
I think people might know you from Instagram.
Yeah.
Maybe now.
Yeah.
Kieran Malone Properties, go follow.
Yeah.
Smashing it.
So, yeah.
People would say, I don't know, maybe you're going to tell us the story of it, mate, but it seems you're doing really well, so.
Yeah, been in property for like 10 years now, and I basically started off buying my first property when I was about 21. I bought a property off.
That's young when you, I think
Yeah,
the
it is
average
young, yeah.
the average first time house buyer is like 40 odd, I think.
Yeah, about 30, 37 I think it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it that old, yeah?
Yeah, that's like across the country, you know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
certain areas, London will be a lot higher than probably down here. But yeah, I bought my first house when I was 21. I've been to Australia travelling for a year, come home. My brother had moved out, my sister had moved out, my mum was in a 3-bed house on her own. She was like, I want to sell up, get a flat. So I suggested I'll buy the property off her. So we got it pre-valued by 3 valuers, and I bought it for the going rate. Need a lot of work doing to it because, like, single mum, she hadn't spent a lot of money on the house, so need the full rip out. But it worked well for her because she then had time to find a new flat, move in there, and get all new furniture and everything. But yeah, that was my first house, and then I kind of...
What brought that on? Because I think at 21, most people aren't thinking about
Buying houses.
Yeah. Have you always been that kind of, you know, want to work for yourself, do your own thing, have you? Or?
Yeah, I was always like in school, like Scanner was saying the other day, selling sweets. I weren't doing it to the extremes he was doing, the like big ice pop.
Yeah.
Graft on the street, but I had like selling sweets, had a paper round, working from like 15, 16, was on sites in town on like 17. And I always like kind of saved. Then went to Australia, working there, and I was always like, always wanting to work. We went to, there's like a joke my mate always says, went to Zante and I got a job out there and decided to stay. But like we were there for 2 weeks, and on the third to last day I got a job to see if I liked it to stay. And my mate always says, Manel, don't know many people that go on holiday and get a job. They were fucked off. And on the day they fucked off, I got sacked from the job, so I was stuck there with no job. My mate took it home. But yeah, it was so I've always kind of wanted to like basically build my own business, work for myself from a young age, really.
I think that's linked, that, you know, when we've had guests on, and that's time you think people who've had a paper round at a young age, or, you know, have got that, always seem to want to go down that route other than kind of work for the man.
Yeah, 100%. I loved my paper round when I was a kid.
I did.
Fucking flew on my bike in the morning, like 6:30 in the morning.
Sundays, like the 5th paper.
Yeah, they are heavy, yeah.
And to take them all out, all the magazines out and stuff, and do them separately.
I used to post them through and they'd just be ripping while I was putting them.
Yeah, if it's raining as well, you're fucked, aren't you?
I think it's just a great founding, isn't it, though, as for young people, and again gives you that drive to want your own money. And
that's it, like. But kind of because my mum was single, we weren't like the richest, no, like, so we always knew that I've got to go in it. If I want it, I couldn't go to her and go, yeah, I don't want £100 trainees, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, we weren't walking around with nothing, but I just knew I'd have to earn it myself, really.
Had you saved a deposit then to buy that house? Is that how you went around it? Yeah.
So I come back from Australia. It went straight away when I come back from Australia. Come back, got on the taxis, smashed the taxis, more or less lived in my taxi. From like,
did you?
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sundays. The lads used to be like, I used to, sometimes I think I missed out a bit, but the lads would be like, oh, we're having a game of poker tonight. And I think, I'll sit there making, the winner gets 40 quid or something, or I can go out taxiing for the night. And I'd be like, I'll earn 250 or something, smashing the taxi. So it was like,
I'll give you a lift back from the poker.
Yeah. It was just in one of the lads' houses, you know what I mean? But if it was a proper night out, I'd be like, oh, sounds worth losing it. But yeah, I just smashed the taxis. But even when I bought the house, so bought the house, it needed a full refurb, like kitchen, bathroom, roof, boiler, windows, door, like it was just the works, like, because my dad had done it when they were together, done most of the stuff, and then they split for like 15 years, so I hadn't really done to it. So what I was doing is I'd get up at 7 in the morning, 8 o'clock the builder would turn up, and I'd be working with the builder from 8 till about 4:30.
Oh, so you were doing bits as well?
Yeah, just labouring basically for him. So from 4:30, it'd then go 5 o'clock, it'd get off, I'd get showered, changed, go out taxiing from like 5 o'clock till 2 in the morning, and then sleep for like six hours, if that, not even 6. Get up, shower, all Monday to Friday. Saturday I'd come, Friday night even, 12-hour shift. Saturday the same. I'd just be smashing it, like, constantly. I'd done it for like 8 weeks on the bounce, like, just constant. And then me and my missus went to, where did we go? Venice on holiday, and my body just went into shock when I was there. It was mad. I got like this pain in my eye. I felt like my eyeball was just gonna burst out my eye. It was just like mad. So for like 2 days walking around with sunglasses on, all the restaurants, bars, middle of the day I just have sunglasses on, it pissing down with rain. And got back, went to the eye hospital, and it was uveitis, and they don't know what caused it. Like
stress?
Yeah, stress. In the end, it was stress. And they had to, it was that bad because I left it, because I was on holiday. They had to like slice me, the lens of my eye, and put a needle into my eye.
Fucking hell.
That was fucking horrible, like, and I had to stay in them for like 3 weeks. I couldn't literally any light. We went to the supermarket, Smith down Asda, bouncing around, pair of shades in the middle of the day. Funny, in that eye hospital, you're sitting there, everyone's got sunglasses on. It's like a Hollywood funeral. You're just all sitting there for hours, me and a load of pensioners. And it's just like, but yeah, I kind of, after that though, whenever I get stressed, my eye would hurt. And it was probably, so now I need glasses permanently. Got to get contacts or laser eye surgery. But since then, it was like, I'd get stressed and my eye would hurt. I'd be like, shit. It's like that, not the James Bond film where he starts bleeding, the dropping blood. Like, I didn't know I was getting stressed. I'd be like, fuck, I need to relax, because it knocked me out for 3 weeks then. So where you're stressing, like, I've got to earn money, I've got to get this job done. You push it that far, you then end up 3 weeks behind, and it'd just be a nightmare. But it happened to me like 3 or 4 times where I had to go to the hospital, get the injection off for 3 weeks. But now, don't really
so it's all fine, yeah.
Yeah,
even at 21, to have like, obviously to have that work ethic, and also, mate, I'm doing some work at our house, and like just budgeting, and like if things go over, like you've got no backup.
Yeah.
Like at 21, if you've got no parents to feed capital into you, and then you're thinking, fucking hell, if that goes, if the builder just finds one thing potentially wrong, you're fucked, aren't you?
That was it. So like, when I look back at the refurb, some of it was shocking, like the laminate floor, and I'd done that myself, and it was like, my missus, when we were talking about it the other day, she was laughing, going, that laminate floor and the cuts were tell you could probably fall down the gaps in the laminate floor, and all, like, but it was kind of a good project. And then what happened is, I'd done it, and it was finished and stuff, and I was still taxing. Then I was coming home to an empty house. It was like, my missus wouldn't stay there because it'd just be here, like, I'd be working night. So then I got 2 of my mates to move in, got the mortgage changed so you could rent the rooms out, and basically they were renting off me. So then I was kind of saving again. It was covering my mortgage, all my gas, my lecky, Sky, sound like. And then I kind of just saved up then and bought my next one, and it just went from there, really. But it was more because it weren't to make money, it was just because it was lonely, like, I couldn't live on my own like that again.
Yeah.
Like.
It's great to hear just someone say that, for like the short sacrifice of, however long it was, start to finish, that you were then able to like have kind of mates basically paying your mortgage for, like, do you know what I mean? And like you say, not being lonely, having people in the house.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people just want that quick thing, don't they now? Or the beers on a Friday with the mates seem too appealing.
It is.
Like, I know I've definitely been like that. That's where you think, oh, I could save money, or I could do this, or oh fuck it, let's just go for a pint. And you need that dedication, don't you?
Yeah, I did sacrifice, like nights out with the lads, but as I say, if it was someone's birthday or something, we'd be like, yeah, it's Sam, we'll go, but if it was just sitting in with the lads, not playing a game of poker and that, don't get me wrong, I'd rather be doing that with the lads, but I knew, right, I've got an end goal here, let's buy my first house. And then it was just kind of snowboard after that, really.
And when you saw that money come in from your mates, and obviously it was covering the mortgage, is that when you then got that like bug to, right, I think if I, if you do the maths in your head, right, if I get 10, if I get 20, if I get 100 properties, then that's when it can really snowball.
That's it, yeah. So basically I bought my next one then. My next one was actually a 9-bed student house, so it was like a level up. I think that was about 23 or something. I hadn't even been that old, about 22.
What gave you the confidence to go from buying a 3-bed house to a fucking 9-bed student?
There was a few people around me who'd kind of done property before, and I kind of just latched onto them, learned off them, and if they'd be like, oh, I need this favour doing, I'd be like, yeah, I'll do it, sounds a bit gimpy, but it was kind of to learn off them, and it's helped me out, they'd done bigger. I've got friends there who are doing big developments in town, million, 150 million the project's going to be worth, so they were all doing smaller stuff and they've just moved up now, so I was behind them just I want to do what they do, but I always knew I was kind of going to be into property. I always thought, that would be me. I think, don't know if you find people who've been on the podcast or yourselves, whatever, a lot of people they know they're going to do that when they're older.
Yeah.
That makes any sense.
See the destiny almost.
Just always knew it'd be something to do with property.
And how did you get financing for something like a 9-bed? What does the process look like then to get? Because I imagine it's not easy to get.
Yeah, and I think what you've done, I'm sure you're going to answer now, Tom, but I think what you've done in general is with your Instagram is you've kind of, I said to Tom on the way here, I think property, when people look at it, if they've not bought a house, anyone listening, it seems like a very daunting task, doesn't it? And it's like, oh fucking hell, God, out. I think what you've done with your Insta, you've kind of broke it down to people and said, look, it's actually, it's quite easy. If the numbers add up here, there, then there's something you can do. And I think like what Tom said, it's people straight away just think, where'd you go to get someone to give you that, to lend you that for this? And
it's mad because, say we're at a party or say we're having a drink out, and as soon as I hear someone mention they're looking to buy a house, I'm like, yes, I was dead keen, want to tell them, it's dead easy, by the end of the night I've found them a house, I've got them a mortgage broken, I'm like, yeah, that's all you need to do, and they're like, it's only joking, I don't want to move out for 5 years, my man does want me washing and all that, and so people will come to me and go, yeah, I'm thinking of this, and you tell them, and I enjoy, helping people, but it got to a point where obviously everyone, you've got to make money. I've got kids now, so it's I'd rather be sitting in with the kids than sitting telling someone how to buy a house who probably can't be arsed doing it. They don't want to commit to it themselves. And it's an hard one because someone might save up 20 grand and it's not going to take them 2 days to save it, but you're trying to get them to spend it on a property within a few days. So they've took them 5-6 years to save this 20 grand. They're going, I want to buy a house, and you go, I've got you one. Yeah, there it is. And you go, oh shit, I've got to spend this 20 grand now. So they get nervous.
Bit reluctant.
Yeah, there's one I've just bought there back in January. It was a bit of a mad one. Basically I went to view this property. My mate messaged me, Rogan. He messaged me over this house. It's a massive house, old mansion house in Egbert. And he said to me, seen this is up for sale. Used to have a youth club in the back. We used to go there as kids. And I was like, oh yeah, it sold in the auction a few months ago. And he was like, no, it never sold. So I was like, it was by New Year's Eve. So I said, no, I'll go and view that. So I went and viewed it. And the woman rang me. She was like, what do you think of the house? And I was like, I don't mind. She went for an offer of like 650. So I was like, no, that's cheap that. I thought I'd go for $1 million. So I was like, oh, alright, I'll offer 660. Thinking, fucking, I haven't got this money, but I'll offer it. It's New Year. All the solicitors are shut. Give me a bit of time. So she goes, alright. The lowest we can, 670 you'll have to go to, some sound. So she goes, I'll send you the sales memo. And I go, alright, sound, playing the game. I'll send it to me solicitor. She went, no, you don't need to, you just sign it now and send it to me. So I'm like, fuck, she called me bluffy, I'm like, what about solicitor? She went, no, you sign it now and you've got 20 days to complete. So I'm like, alright, sound. So I'm sitting there, my bird's going, do you really want to do it? My dad's going, yeah, go ahead, do it. No, like, normally it's the opposite way. I'm going, fucking let's have a go. And they're like, no, you're mad. No, like,
I love all this like deals and like
it,
it's good, isn't it?
So like New Year's Eve, and like on the phone, rang me solicitor. I've got a good relationship with him. Got his mobile, so ring him, ring me broker. Start ringing a few brokers, just trying to get someone to say, yeah, I can get you the money in 20 days. No one fucking answers. She said to me, go ahead, I'll have it. She's like, sending money now, so I'm trying to get the 70 grand deposit. If I don't complete in 20 days, I lose that money. So I'm like,
what, you lose the 70 grand?
70 grand. So I'm signing it.
I would
I'm
not
going,
be signing that, mate.
so I'm like, shit. So I'm signing it, and my solicitor sent the money. She's like, it hasn't come over, I'll have to go with the other person. I was like, I've sent it. Santander are going, we've blocked it, no, the payments. So I'm going, I've sent it, it's there, no, don't worry. Santander's, I'm like, they're ringing me again, fucking back and forth. Got it till about 3 o'clock. It's New Year's Eve. I'm like, sorry about this, no, like. Anyway, we got it over the line, and as soon as I got it over the line, broker rings me. What did I said, sorry to ring you, know, like, this is the thing. He said, oh, don't wait until after. I was like, I've signed it now, I've sent the money. Oh no, just wait. I was like, don't think you're listening, I've sent the money. They're like, don't tell me to wait now, it's gone. Solicitor rings me, he can't hear me because he can't get signal, and all he keeps on saying is, do not send that money or sign it. And I'm going, I've sent it. In the end I put the phone down, I was like, what the fuck have I done here? So I was like, signed, I gotta value it in, we'll get it. So anyway, New Year's Eve, they all go, wait until the 5th. Me 20 days start on the 5th or whatever, the first day back. So the money, it comes to it, and I'm like, right, broker, I couldn't wait for this day. On the phone to the broker, he goes, I've got a bank, but they can't get out till the 25th, and they won't get the valuation report till the 28th. I've got to complete by then. But in the meantime, Boris Johnson's done lockdown, hasn't he? Because remember New Year's Eve, they just went fucking... Yeah. So all the
at what point is your ass going?
From when I'd done it, I was just like, what have I done? I'd had like a bit of a shit year. COVID had happened. I'd lost like 50 tenants, went down from 50 tenants to 6. So I was like, shit, this is like my last 70, like, not like I've got loads of 70 grands, but I'd refinanced something. I was like, so I'm like, fuck. So he goes, the value I can't get out. So I've got 2 weeks, not just 2 weeks went. I've got 2 weeks left. And he's like, I'm like, fucking hell. So I ring at my sister and I say, speak to her. Say to her, I'll give her another 5 grand if she gives me another 2 weeks. She just went, fuck off. No chance. You're losing your 70 grand basically. So I went, signed. But she'd had a falling out with the letting agents. So they had all the certificates and the paperwork. But that was part of the contract, that we couldn't get any paperwork. So all the banks were like, hold the paperwork. I'm not going to lend you 400 odd grand. Because obviously I had to find the deposit and that. So I end up like, one of my mates borrowed me money. And then he said, I've got this fella from Wales, he'll lend you the money. So I'm like, sad. So he rings me and he goes, I've got to complete on the Friday. He goes, I'll meet you at the property on Thursday. So I'm like, fuck, I didn't sleep for like 3 weeks. And I'm like, I've got to meet this Welsh fella at the property. And he's just going to go, fucking little scouser, fuck off, I'm not letting you that. No, like, I'm thinking, imagine he turns up and goes, don't like the look of him.
Yeah.
He turned up and just went, didn't even go in. Yeah, Sam, he shook me hand and went, right, I'll send that money over. And we completed on it. I was like, fuck. So we had tenants and that, we got planning permission for like apartments and stuff. And it was nerve-wracking, and then this company come in to rent it off me. And we just had a valuation of, like, literally this week's coming with 1.4 million. And I'm just like,
wow.
No, like, I fucking made up, no rain. So now I'm going to refinance that, pay the bridging loan back. But my nan's like, you're still on a bridging loan? No, like, it is.
What's a bridging loan? Sorry,
so
I don't mean to like, interrupt the story.
No, it's basically, when you were saying about people panicking, it's basically instead of going to the bank and it's taking you 3 months to get the money, people will do a bridging loan, or like companies, but they charge you a bigger interest rate, but it's because it's more risk. They might ask for they might wait for you to get planning permission, it might not have all the certificates, anything like that, so they'll lend you the money early.
Right.
So people will go there for them. And
these bridging loans you can get from like, not normal banks, but like investment
like wealthy individuals,
yeah,
even, isn't
some
it?
banks can do it, or basically, I was looking at it myself, I was thinking, people will build up a pot, like spin a load of properties, and then just go, right, I've got X amount, I'll start bridging now. And they'll have like £1 million, so say 100,000, they'll rent it out at 1% a month. So if you rent 100 grand, they'll lend you, it's 1% out, so £1,000 out.
Yeah.
and then £1,000 a month, and then £1,000 back in. So if you borrow off them for 6 months, you've got to pay £1,000 out, 6 months payments and £1,000 in. So it's £8,000. So if you've got a £100,000 property, it's better. You're not going to make £8,000 a month. So
No.
I mean £8,000 in 6 months. So people will do that.
Right.
And it's like for stuff that's unmortgageable or it's in auction. People say to me, would you buy at auction? I always say to people, first property, look at me there. I've been in it for 10 years, and I was like, shit, couldn't sleep. You know what I mean? Like, we've got 2 young kids. I was in the other room with the other lad, like baby, getting him asleep at night in January, and then he'd cry and I'd get in bed with him, and Libby would be in the other room with the other baby, and I'd just be lying in bed. I remember just lying there for like 4 or 5 hours just singing, what the fuck am I going to do here? I've lost 70 grand here. No, like, what am I going to do?
Funny though, you always figure it out though, don't you?
Yeah, and then it was just like every day, 5 o'clock, just got there dead quick. And I was like, no one's going to answer the phone now. I've got to wait till tomorrow. People were just going like, people who've got big investments were going, don't worry lad, you'll get the money, I'll find someone to do it. You know what I mean? Then they're going, but it'll be 2% a month. You know what I mean? But I was borrowing like 460 or something. So 2% a month's £9,000.
£9,000,
so
yeah.
it's just like, if I didn't get the new valuation with that new contract, you know what I mean? Worked out well for me, but there is stressful times.
Soon adds up that though, doesn't it? If £9,000 a month, fucking hell.
I think I end up getting it like £7,500 in the end. But you have your broker's fee, the person who sorts it out. They make £10,000 just for doing the deal. Do you know what I mean? So I've got to
That's
pay
why
that.
property though, I mean, that's why it's good to get your own, because property, there's a lot of money in it, and there's obviously a lot of complications in it, a lot of, like you say, stresses in it. I mean, going back to what, sorry, that was my fault for making you jump ahead. So obviously you didn't start off doing those 70 grand deposit deals. I mean, how did it, from when Tom said that first 9-bed property, how did that come about, like financing it and things like that?
So basically, I done all the refurb on the one in Egbert.
Yeah.
Built up more money because it was just basically kind of more or less rent free then. Built up more money, and then after the 2 years I remortgaged. So where my deposit had been tied up, remortgaged and pulled money out. And then that gave me money to put a deposit on this house. It was empty, needed a full refurb. So
is this the 9-bed one?
Yeah, the 9-bed. So basically you get the money then to do the refurb, and then you get it tenanted and then refinance. So basically there's one there in Tubriuk that we just done, and it was absolute tip. We bought that for 38 grand at auction, 4 grand, 6 grand agent fees. Fucking whoever's selling the house, they've got that auction team go to them.
That's what I'm going into after this pod, being an agent with properties.
But that auction, go to the person and go, hey, we'll sell your house for free. So they go, fucking great. No, like, they might not have a lot of money, or they're new to the property, so they think great. But then the auction charged 6 grand. So anyone bidding just bid 6 grand less because they know they've got to pay that extra fee. So where the fee might be 2 grand with other auction houses, they would have made 4 grand at tenants. So anyway, cost me 44, spent 16 on it, and cost me 60 in total to buy and do the refurb. 60 in total. And then I'm getting a valuation on it now. We've put it up at about 100 grand. I reckon it might value in it 90 grand. But if they value it at the 100 grand, the bank will lend me 75% of that. So they'll lend me 75 grand, and I've only had to put in 60. So I've got me money to go again then.
Right.
So go out. You know what I mean? That's just been tenanted at 650 a month, and my mortgage will probably be about 200. So
you got all your money back and making 450 then a month.
Well, minus, I've got an agent on it because I'm a tenant now. Got an agent on it 10%, then insurance. Probably walk away about 250 a month, and I've got all my money out. Do you know what I mean? I'm just on interest only on that. Doing that on a few now.
All these mortgages then, are they all in your name? As in, like, if you fail to make those payments, they're coming for your house?
Yeah. Well,
yeah. Or are they in like companies?
Yeah. So I used to buy in my personal name, and then now I started buying in company names. But if you do, you sign personal guarantees and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but now, since the crash, they won't lend you. Like, they used to borrow you 100%.
Yeah.
What they'll reserve, so it was mad. And like, your affordability. So they'll look at everything. Now with like that big house that I've got there, it's 24 bedrooms and 3 flats. So they'll look at that and go, right, he's got a lot of HMOs. So he's experienced. Where someone brand new, they go, he could be up the wall here with tenants. No, like, few tenants don't pay, you know what I mean?
Then he's fucked, yeah.
You've got to go to court with them, CCJs for them. But COVID as well, as I say there, that was a nightmare, that. Because I lost like 50 tenants. I had about 50 tenants I lost. I ended up with 6. And out of them 6, I think like 4 could pay. But I was texting them saying, don't worry if you can't pay, just let me know. But I put on the message, don't take the piss, because I've got to try and help everyone out. And if people are taking the piss and they can pay, then it's going to affect the ones that can't pay, like.
Yeah.
But the government's tax, when they said about the self-employed and tax help, I was like, I'm going to get all that, like the full entitlement. They didn't pay me on, because I still had my taxi. They were like, okay, we can't pay on property, but we can pay on the taxi. But because taxi is under 50% of your main income, we can't pay it on your taxi. So I got fuck all. They just went, see you later. So it was like, I was like, well, I can't taxi. Libby was pregnant at the time, so they were saying, don't go out, catch COVID. So I went taxiing, and property wise, I'd lost tenants. They were telling tenants, you don't have to pay your rent for 6 months, don't worry, no one can kick you out. So I was just like, shit, I reckon I lost about 80, 90 grand. I had to sell it. Sound like a dickhead, I had to sell a house, to cover it. But that was
one of my houses.
My first house I bought 10 years ago, all the money I put into that, I've been paying my mortgage, and as I say, sound like a dickhead saying, but there's people that have lost the house that they live in, so I'm just like,
yeah, grateful. I know what you mean though, you're grateful still being in a position, but it's still,
that's my pension there.
It's still not nice to, when you've worked hard, to have just things taken away from you.
But mate, I was just gonna. But why would because of COVID? Why would you go from 50 to 6?
Because what happened is, so COVID started in March, didn't it?
Yeah.
All the students started leaving, but
right.
I had that first house, that 9 bed. I was saying that into 8 beds with all en suites. So we were all like, oh no, we're not getting uni, we're having to go home. So I was like, all right, I'll give you a discount because I'm gonna do a refurb for September anyway. So they went, sound, fucking worst thing I've done, because they got off, done the refurb, and then no one fucking moved in. Because what happened is, all the students were back home, weren't like,
just working from home, studying from home, yeah.
Any Scousers, people from Manchester, Chester, anyone local, the parents were like, just stay at home, don't move out, yeah. So you had all them, not here. Foreign students weren't coming into the country,
of course.
Lost all them. Then there was no Airbnbs, because no one was going on holiday hotels. So all the Airbnbs turned into student accommodation. So you've lost half the students, and you've got double the properties. So everyone was just undercutting everyone. It was just mad. So I was letting people move in. They were like, I've got no guarantor, I've got no deposit, and you're just like, I need someone in.
I'll take the punt.
Just any bit of cash coming in.
And it was just like, fucking hell, just basically let them live there rent free. But it was like, can't even kick them out now. They've got no guarantor.
Yeah.
It was just
stressful, that mate.
It was mad.
What sounds like is what's funny though, is what sounds like, you talk numbers and you think, oh wow, this is great, this, wow, and then you hear how it can quickly go the other way.
That COVID was just a killer. As I say, there's people who've lost the house that they live in, know what I mean? I was lucky because I just kind of rode it, know what I mean? I was just like, let's see, I'd had savings, sold the house, bad, but...
Mate, I know what you mean, but listen, everyone got affected by COVID in a different way, don't they? Everyone's allowed to have a lot of moan about it, mate. It was fucking shit for everyone.
That's it, I was lucky, really.
What I was going to say, you mentioned about the Airbnb, mate. I know I'm pinging questions at you, but
you know what it is? Tom loves fucking money. That's what it is. And now that you mentioned money,
I love all this. I love deals and I fucking love all this, mate. I've heard some, and especially since Airbnb started coming around, of people who have had just normal tenants in, and then they've decided to go down the Airbnb route, renting them out to people coming in for the weekend or whatever they might be doing. And there's some, from what I've heard, there's some serious cash in that.
Yeah.
Is that true?
So basically, what happens is, people will come renting apartments and they'll go, right, they'll sublet it then. But you've got to have the mortgage company's got to know the block of apartments. A lot of block of apartments have stopped it now because you have people living there, and then you have a stag do and do it next door every week.
every Saturday.
So every Saturday you're knocking on the door, can you keep the noise down? Next week it's another group. They're like, fucking hell, we're only having a party, you know what I mean? It's every weekend, you know what I mean? So what people do, there's certain blocks and they'll rent it, so it'll be like £600 rent, council tax, gas, electric, Wi-Fi might come in at £800 a month.
A month, yeah.
So like
all your costs are 800 quid, yeah.
So like some people will have 10 of these. They'll be paying 800 quid a month for each one. Then they'll Airbnb. I done a post about it a few weeks ago, and basically they'll rent it out. So I thought I'll do a post about it because people don't know about it. And I went on Airbnb to have a look at the prices for that weekend, and it was 500 quid for 6 people to share a room a night. So share apartments. What they'll do, they'll put 2 single beds in a 2-bed apartment. So you got 4, then a sofa bed. So 6 people, and then that weekend they'll get £1,000. Do you know what I mean?
So that covers the 800 straight away.
Yeah,
Bang.
so that covers the 800. They'll do it 4 weekends.
And what, just go and stay in the mum and dad's or something the weekend, or stay in the mates or something?
They won't even know. They just rent it out. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. If it's where will they go, just stay in the friends or something?
It'll just be another apartment. Like they'll still live at home. I know a lad who still lives at home, and he's got one. You know what I mean? So then they'll make
so maybe like £4,000 in a month.
Then they've got the midweek.
So they're up 3,200, aren't they?
That's it. Obviously that's the greatest, but I put it at like £600. There was literally 5 apartments left in Liverpool, and the cheapest was 500 quid. So say you do it at 600, you still 2,400, and then you get your midweek stays. So you'd have like...
And that's if you're subletting. Now, if you buy the property yourself and you're maybe interest only on it, you're even cheaper.
Even more. And like if you get say like 4 lads from Newcastle, they're working down here, they might get off their work 60 quid a night for digs. Do you know what I mean? So they get 300 quid a week. You say to them, I've got an Airbnb there, just gives 150 each. They're like, sound. So you're getting 6 ton off them for midweek, you know what I mean? It's like,
plus the weekend.
plus the weekend, it's just mad. And all you're doing is sending cleaners in. Tell the lads to meet on a Friday, take your bags to work, check out, you go around Friday, clean it up, Sunday night, same again, so it's ready for Monday.
Yeah,
it's
mate.
Mad, like.
In Walton, mate, when you're just thinking, you rent this house, £6 ton a month, and you think, if anything goes wrong in the house, you're sorting it. Do you know what I mean? The tenants could be paying you right. You'd have these tenants in, whatever. You're doing Airbnb, you're making far more money than that. Yeah. You're not having the drama of the tenants if they're not good tenants. You know, it seems like a no-brainer if anyone is going to get into property rather than do a long-term tenanting, whether to have that Airbnb.
Because like, as well, imagine you're only making £1,000 off them, no like, but imagine you got 5 of them. Do you know what I mean? 5 apartments, and say it is a young lad or girl, and they've got one of them. They're just living there Monday to Friday, going to work in town, cleaning up on a Friday, taking all the stuff to the mum and dad's, and then rent it out the weekend. They're like living rent free. Do
you think more people are onto it now? As in, like a lot. Like, do you think young people are thinking about property a lot more than maybe when? I don't know when I don't know. I guess when we were 21. Do you know what I mean?
No, what I think it is. A lot of younger people are now like parents like, you need to get on the property ladder, but it is a lot harder. Do you know what I mean? But there's some people that don't want to be on the property ladder. Like that house that I'm renting, that's worth that one that cost me 60 to do up. The people who moved in there, they've got a joint income of like 45 grand. Do you know what I mean? So they could that easily save up. No, like, I don't know what the credit scores and stuff like that is, but they might prefer to rent anyway, you know what I mean? Some people do prefer to rent.
Mate, I remember being in hospital, this was years ago, and there was a nurse there, and I think I was on the verge of buying my first house, and this nurse came in. I said, oh shit, what are you up to this weekend? I said, I've just bought a house, my first house, And we were chatting, and she went, I couldn't think of anything worse to buy a house. And I went, what? And she was from Europe though, I can't remember where she was, I think Germany she was from. And apparently in Europe, it's not like a thing. They just rent.
Madly.
It's like all about that, having that like obviously flexibility, and then some people say that if you own a house and you've got a mortgage, like it's like classifying it properly. So is it an asset or is it a liability? It's technically a liability because every single month you are liable for that payment. Whereas if you're renting, then you've got the flexibility. If you just don't want to leave in 1 month, you can leave, and you've got that flexibility. So
it's such an investment, a mortgage. Like for argument's sake, I mean, it's such a petty reason. But if you have a house and you've got a mortgage on it, and you hate the neighbours or you hate the neighbourhood, I mean, you're fucking lumbered with a 200 grand debt, and you're stuck in that house. Now, if you're renting it for 500 quid a month and you hate your neighbours,
just fuck off.
Fuck off. It's just one of them, and it's fuck the landlord. I don't give a fucking go.
Yeah.
That's it. I had that another house I had there. I had 2 tenants in. They were sound. They were like 50 odd. Paid the rent all the time, but the price of the property, the house was worth 200 grand. They were paying like 800 a month, and I think they were paying 750. I was like, I'm gonna have to knock it up, because for me there, you've got to work out what's worth it. No, like as an investment. So I could go out and buy 3 houses for 70 grand each, for example. Probably won't now because the price of everything, but it's for your 200, 210, you get 3 houses. You'll probably get 550 rent for each one of them. So you're walking away with 1650. Where I had the 200 grand house, I was getting 750. So business wise, it weren't worth it. But they were just sound tenants. And I was like, I can't put the rents up. No, like I felt bad, but I was like, they're getting it a lot cheaper. So I put it up, and then I was like, it needs to go up a lot more for the area. And I was like, and for my mortgage and my insurance and all that, I just weren't making it. It was costing me for them to live there, really. So I said to them, I said, I'm going to have to sell it. But I said, I'll give you 6 months, and then if you haven't found anything, we'll have a no like talk anyway, like don't worry. I said, but wouldn't you just consider buying it? I said, I'll even give you the discount so you can kind of get on the property ladder. That's a bit of your chunk of deposit. And they were like, no, we don't want to buy. Like, last thing we want to do is buy. And it was like 50 odd, and they were like, by the time we pay the mortgage off, it'll be fucking who dies first. No, I didn't get the house. So I was like, I'm not fucking giving it. But it was like, some people are just like, the boiler breaks, could be $1,000, no need. So it's like,
let someone else deal with the problem. Yeah.
And if you've got like, it is you're paying your house off, and sometimes I think if you're only going to buy one house, probably it might be worth renting, because you get to your pension age, you can't sell your house and then spend it because you don't know where to live, you know what I mean? You maybe downsize and then you've got a chunk of money, do you know what I mean? Or where's the money going to go? It might go to your kids, which is sound, but is it, if you get to an age where they put you in a nursing home and then sell your house and pay for it, no, like...
Yeah, that's happened to a mate. That's fucking horrible when you hear stories like that. People work all their lives, you know, finally pay the mortgage off, the house is then going to go to the kids, then they go in a nursing home, and then the house just gets sold and pays for their care. It's like, fucking hell.
They've dealt with all them fucking boiler problems and all that.
In the hope to give it to the kids, and then they fucking can't. It is fascinating to think that, like, I mean...
One thing I wanted to know is, when... I've lost my train of thought. What was I going to say then? Something to do with getting on the property ladder. I can't remember. One other question I did have for you is, I see a lot of people online in property, so like the big names like Grant Cardone. Yeah. There's another guy from the UK who's also got a podcast, Rob Moore, I think.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard them.
He's big in.
What are they called?
What do you think? What do you think of people like Grant Cardone? And for those who don't know, Grant Cardone's like a pretty out there sort of character. Yeah. Bit of salesman sort of guy, always talking about property. I think he sells courses on property and things like that. Says that it's the only way, well, not the only way, it's one of the main ways to make money is through property. Like some of these gurus and things. Obviously, you're not doing it to that, your Instagram, things like that. But
no, what? That was kind of, loads of people asked me about training, and I put up that I was thinking of starting it, but it's dead hard, because if people aren't going to commit to it, it's like, I don't want the blame. No, like, fucking hell, I spent X amount to, no, like, go on this course. But these courses like 4 or 5 grand. My mate rang me. He was at a viewing. He said, fucking hell, lad, you need to get on this training. No, like, this girl I've just met here, she paid 15 grand to go on a training course.
15?
And I was like, fucking hell. And he went, you're messing, aren't you, to the girl? And she went, no, we only let 6 people on every year. No, like, every 6 months. I was like, no wonder he's making 15 grand a month. And he was like, so have you got money for property? And she was like, no, I had to get a loan to get the 15 grand. And I was like, fucking hell, mad, like. But then there's people who might have 2 million in the pot. I don't know what you're going to earn for 15 grand, but if you got £2 million in the pot, it's worth the 15 grand. Yeah. Like, so people will ring me and go, oh yeah, so I'll do a call with them and see what avenue I'll go down. So there's property sourcing. So people say, you don't need any money to start in property.
Yeah, no money down and like.
So like, technically it can be right because the Airbnb, but you need something. You can't just go sign like they want a deposit, they want like your refurb. So you don't need 100 grand, but you might need 4 or 5 grand. Do you know what I mean? To start off, like someone come to me with property, like block of apartments for Airbnb. She went, these want to know like start the Airbnb, and she's done it for years. So I was like, you'd be worth charging people for the training but at the end of it, they get a property. You know, like, that's part of the package. And then they can do that Airbnb, they know what to look for, you know, like, some bookings, if it's, you know, like, a local comes, grabs the keys, and he's like, oh yeah, it's just me and my mate. Next minute, there's fucking 30 of them in the apartment, you know, like, get trashed, you know what I mean? So it's like, knowing who to book to, you know, like, checking ID. It can be easy to go, oh yeah, it's 500 quid, it's cash. They've got no ID, but normally only make 300 quid, fucking give it to them. But then they damage it, make no cost $2,000. So there is the way of like getting into it for free. I think there is in anything training, no, like, it's worth doing, no, like, if you're getting the right training. There's a lad who does, I won't say his name, he does training, he's like, not from Liverpool. I think he charged like $3 or $4,000, but there's like 60 people in this room and they won't go through.
Where's he from?
I think he's from Leeds. Where he's
is it?
Yeah.
It's not Sam.
Yeah. I'll mention his name there.
Yeah.
But so
what, as in he's good or he's not?
No, what? He knows his stuff, like, no, like, but he's got it in your room with 60 people. So some people go to this course and go, yeah, spend the last $4,000. He had a lad from the army go in and he got a credit card. And I think he spent like 15,000 going on this course. He come out the army, tried to get jobs, didn't work, got a credit card. Obviously had a few problems going on. And then after it, killed himself. But he told on this course, yeah, you're going to make. And there was like voice recordings him saying, yeah, you're going to make. So that's what scared, no, like, not that I'm going to charge 15,000, but it scares me if someone comes on and they just think. Because you've got to try and sell it to people because you want them to sign up.
Of course.
But then on the other side, you don't want people to think it's uneasy, but I've learned everything over the last 10 years. I've lost money with buying a property in town. We're going through planning, had surveyors come out, spent 15,000 on it, and then end up never not buying it. 15,000 just down the drain. So I've made mistakes, and
of course, mate.
Yeah.
If this was a marketing piece right now, you wouldn't be doing a great job marketing in terms of like saying, fuck it, you know, if you were trying to sell a course now and you're going, oh mate, I couldn't sleep for fucking 3 weeks, I dropped 70,000, it was fucking chaos.
That's it. That's the big thing. And like, I'd rather tell people the truth. No, like, some people might think, no, fucking hell, I'm not fucking doing that, sounds terrible, but I've done it, it works, but I don't want them to think it's going to be fucking easy, this, I'll have a million houses.
Yeah.
But like, that Airbnb one's a good way for people to start. So they'll pay $4,000 to go on that course. Think, yeah, it's fucking easy money. And then they can't get a property because they're ringing landlords going, hey mate, I'm just looking to rent your property and I'm going to rent it out to stag and endus every weekend. And they go, fuck off, not in. So it's like, they pay this $4,000 thinking, where if I think it should be more like, right, we'll do the training and we've got you an end product. But then there's the sourcing way where you don't need money. You've got to be like registered with like, have insurance and certain like credentials, no, like, to be a sourcer, no, like, so a property will come to me, like, some off market people will come to me and go, I've got this house, and investors will come to me and go, right, I want to find a property. Some stuff comes to me and I'm like, load of shit, no, like, don't bother. And then it'll come to me and I go, I've got an investor for that, and I'll charge them $3,000, 2% or $3,000 minimum. So you can do that if you learn how to do the sourcing. You can make good money. You know what I mean? It was 1 week where I made like 10 grand. No, like, blowing me. Don't get me wrong, I went fucking 3 months with nothing then, but that was like a mad week. I was like, to me, fucking mad.
What, just finding properties for people?
Properties, the right deals, but I won't sell shit. No, like, some people come with crap, and there's some sources who'll send me stuff on Instagram going, do you know anyone to buy this? And I go, no wonder you can't find anyone. There was some fella saying, property in Anfield, Airbnb, this when COVID happened. And he was like, it's a house share, but you get £600 a month per room. No, like, just renting a room in Anfield, you don't get you get a house for 500 quid. Yeah. You know, in there saying, but he was selling that as a deal. And was like, do you know any investors? And I messaged him. He put it on his Instagram, and he'd been on that lad's course. And I messaged him saying, I'm not like calling you bluff here, but you're not from, he was from London. I said, lad, don't sell that. You're probably getting $350 a room. An investor's going to buy that and be like stuck with it. But there is some people are boss at the job, no, like. It's
funny you say about people from North Liverpool. I remember my old local. It was called the Lineker. If anyone down by Poolways knows it. And anyway, it shut down, unfortunately. And one of the reasons it shut down was, I think, the brewery was saying, we want to sell it or something, and the landlady she said, okay, we'll buy it, you know, how much you want for it or something. And he said something like fucking 1.5 million.
Yeah.
And anyone who knows the Lineker pub on Lineker Lane in Bootle knows that it's fucking not an in Bootle that's worth a fucking £1.5 million, let alone this fucking boozer. And she was like, where are you from, lad? Well, we're from London. She's like, yeah, I'll pay for your train ticket, come and look at this boozer and you tell me if it's worth 1.5 million, because they're just looking at it going, that's £1.5 million, that building. It's like,
well, they just think Liverpool boozer.
well, I just think a big pub, if you like, and I don't know, I don't know, but it would not be, I don't know fuck all about property, business and money, but it would not be a sound investment. No, I'll tell you.
I went to it, I was going to the auctions before COVID and that, and like people are bidding stuff and I'm thinking, are they fucking mental? No, like, I'll be right, 70 grand, that's me, no max. All of a sudden, next minute, I remember being at one and some fella just sat there with his hand up all through the auction, no matter, like,
could have been a shed, like.
Yeah, lad, this one house he was going for, they were going 85, 86, 85, no, like 87, 80, and he just kept his hand up. He wants then. I was thinking, he must have £1 million buried under the floorboards in that house and he's being fucking kicked out or something. And he bought it, and I think he paid 125 grand for the house. It was battered, and one done would sell for 115, no, like. So he's 10 grand out of pocket before he'd done the refurb. So that's the scary thing in Liverpool now. Loads of people are coming here, don't have a fucking clue what they're doing, and overpaying. So if you're bidding against one of them, you might as well just call it quits, because
what's the point?
Yeah, they just fucking buy stuff.
Mate, what? Sorry to interrupt you then. One, I've just remembered what I was going to ask before. So, house prices at the moment have just gone fucking mental. My sister just tried to buy a house that was like towards Manchester, where she obviously is lives towards Manchester, and the estate agent said, you've got 24 hours to make an offer. If you don't get the offer in by 3 p.m, whatever, this is the minimum that they want. They won't accept anything less than that. They kind of like just
best and final.
Just they're not asked. They're just obviously there's so much demand. Why is that? I don't get it, because I don't understand how house prices suddenly just gone mental because of COVID. Like, it can't just be COVID.
Well, I think savings, like where people might invest in businesses normally, like some investors will have a pot and go, right, I'm going to buy shares in that business, whatever. Everyone's just gone, fuck, it's too risky now. Like businesses are going bankrupt. Debenhams that shut down. They're like big companies where you think they'll be flying them for years. Loads of companies are shutting down, so people are like, if I buy property, if it goes down, it'll go back up. They're not going to fucking... So I think that's what's happening. And savings, at the moment you get like 0.2%. I think I've done a post where you put 100 grand in the bank, 20 years time it'll be like worth 122 grand. If you buy a house for 100 grand and remortgage it, hey, what did I end up doing? 100 grand.
But don't forget interest, as in like the interest, as in outside of the bank, as in inflation. Sorry, inflation. So it'd be worth less than 100 grand, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So it worked out 122 grand you got from the bank, and then if you put it in property, from that 100 grand, you ended up earning 100. It worked out about 80 grand. Plus property prices double every 20 years, well, last 20 years. So that 100 grand house will be worth 200, and you've got your 86 grand worth of rent. So you've got 286 grand. If you left it in the bank, you'd have 122. And the inflation, 100 grand, what it cost you 100 grand now, in 20 years time, it'll cost you 146. So by leaving it in the bank, you've actually lost 24 grand.
Yeah.
No, like, so that's why people are like,
we need to get rid of my money.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to get you on, because again, not advising anyone to go and buy a house tomorrow, but if anyone is interested, I mean, they should contact you, because I think, you know, it is a minefield, and people, if you said, I guarantee there are people out there who go, if someone said, oh mate, you should speak to me mate Kieran, he knows all about property. Oh, I don't know, if they go up and down, I'd rather just leave it in the bank.
Yeah.
And then you hear that story about the savings and you think, what the fuck's the point?
Yeah. Wouldn't know what we went, this man's like a fucking, we were getting a new kitchen on ours, and like, my miss was like, let's go to Wren, or like, better kitchen. I'm like, fucking get one from Arden's, I got discount there, but it's like, so we end up I was like, we'll go to Wren's, sit down, big fucking fancy showroom and all that.
It ain't true.
Yeah. No, we ended up in Warrington, because fucking fella from HE didn't mess you back and just cancelled the appointment. She was like, I'm not going there. So we ended up fucking mission into Warrington. So I was like, sound. Went to Warrington, sat there, kitchen was 15 grand for everything, compliances and all that. And like, he went, you can have it on interest free if you want. I was like, just refinance something. I was like, I'll pay it outright, or I can have interest free. So it was like, most people that go, like older people, if they've got 15 grand, they go, pay it off, it's done.
Yeah, no stress, yeah.
So like, I went, well, with the let's go for the interest free, and if we can get it, we'll use that. Because with that 15 grand, if house price were a bit lower, you could go out and buy a house, a 60 grand house with a 25% deposit. So you put your 15 grand in, and you've got a house. The house, 60 grand, rent might be 450 because with the area. I think your mortgage might be £200 a month. So you're up for 250. So that 250 then goes to pay your kitchen.
Yeah.
Your kitchen was the kitchen was like 320 a month. So I've only got to add 70 quid. So for the next 5 years, I've got to pay 70 quid. At the end of the 5 years, I've got my kitchen and a house worth 60 grand. No, like, but
yeah,
some people...
Wait, no one thinks of that.
Yeah,
do they?
yeah. It's just thinking, like, outside the box, know what I mean? And, like, I don't want to be, like, showing off because we got a 15 grand kit, but I got fucking swear for the credit anyway. Because what happened is, I had a fucking perfect credit score, and he went, what the best thing for to do? I went, I've got a company, you know, like, self-employed, and he went, know what, if you lie about anything, make sure your figures are all right and all that, no, like, and I went, all right, son, so I'm like, getting all the figures, and he went, beat end, you're employed. And I was like, well, I'm not, and he went, just beat end, it's better, it works out better. And he just went, oh, they've rejected you for lying. And I was like, fucking hell, you told you. So we had to do it in their name, but it was like, it was what, no, like, at the time I was like, I was telling him the idea, I was like, this is the reason I'm doing it, no, like, because to me it sounds interesting. Some people go, fucking hell, no, like, oh, buying a kitchen, you could buy an house instead, no, like, but it's just teaching people, like, if you've got one house, that could be your second house then, you know what I mean? Even with a car, so I've had, like, loads of, like, footy players, boxers and all that. I've had loads of reality stars. One come to me, a reality star, and he was like, I'm about to buy a car for 40 grand. I'm like, and he was like, and my financial advisor said, go and buy a house. So that's why I messaged you, what you reckon? And I was like, buy a house, and the income you've got, I'll pay for the car. Just get it on lease. And then after 2 years, your car's dropped in price, but your house has gone up. So it's just doing the, like, there's no point going out and buying a 100 grand Range Rover.
For cash.
Might as well buy a 100 grand house, get 700 quid a month, and that'll probably pay your Range Rover.
Yeah.
And then in 2 years' time, get a new one. But your house is still there, no, like.
Yeah, 100%.
Totally, yeah.
But it's just kind of getting people to think, no, like.
Mate, and also it's like, we're always taught, aren't we, debt is bad, but it's like, depending on the debt, what it is. If it's, you know, I don't know, a store card and you're just racking up fucking
Jaeger bombs.
yeah, you know, but actually using debt to in a good way, you know, and if you're obviously responsible, then you know.
See, like that when I was going for that house and I got that 450 grand loan, I was made up. Loads of people go, fucking hell, you just got 450 grand debt. You are like, why are you so happy? But you're
because you know what you can use that for. Yeah, 100%.
Like, it's worked out, but it is just making sure that you're using your money right, you know what I mean? So like, a lot of people ring me and go, oh, my parents have got this house and it's paid off, but they want to buy property, and the parents are dead nervous about it, but they're ready to go, no, like, because they're ambitious, no, like, the parents are just like, no, I know it's safe, that's my pension, no, what I mean? Again, I've done it for 20 years, they've now paid it off, and they're going, why am I going to risk it? No, I'm not going to spend it, no, like. So it is just kind of finding the different means of doing it, really. But
it's interesting, isn't it, mate, that you wouldn't think that. Again, and for some people might have switched off straight away from the start of this pod, thinking I'm not interested in property or I'm happy renting, whatever. But there's so many ways to make money from it, isn't it?
That's it, like. And I think, don't get me wrong, I think like people renting, like my sister rents, and like, it suits her, you know what I mean? And some people just a driver rent, as you say, 12 months, I get a driver move, you know what I mean? Imagine where you say, buying a house and your neighbour turns it into a party house. Like they've done an article for now with the HMOs. You read about that, like basically certain areas now can't have HMOs, like house of multiple occupants, so 6 people living in there. It's landlords fuming over it. They're like, fucking hell, because everyone wants to come in the city, you know, these big developments. So they're obviously getting all the students now. there's about two sides to it, you know what I mean? There's people in these streets that have lived there, old people, know, like, been there all life, and now they're through in fucking 6 young 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
They've got 3 cars, it's a little house, can only fit 1 car outside. Half of them have got a car, so there's 3 cars, all parked there, and the only time they're using them is to go to the Asda. They're getting the bus into town. So the street's blocked, they can't park outside their house, taxis beeping all the time, they're like, there's people in that area who've sold their house and made good money because everyone's making them into student houses. But the people who've stayed are like, nah, this is my area, you know what I mean? Like, and it's fair enough, no, like...
Yeah.
I don't
mate,
think
my street in Leeds in Headingley was... there was... Mate, God, every street was full of students, and there was like an old couple towards the end of the like the row that we were on. It's all just terrace houses. I felt so sorry for them sometimes because like... fucking the noise, like parties on, every day of the week. It's just chaos, and I was like, I do feel like, just like shit
Tom was like,
and...
I do feel bad.
that music up.
No, but you're right, mate. Yeah, I couldn't imagine living like I couldn't live with like. I could obviously live with students when I was a student, but like now, now, when you've got kids and things like that, any noise.
Just a student, no son with his kid, like, keep that noise down. 6 of us in this house. I've got a baby, yeah. But like,
you're right,
HMOs, the students, but then there's like people stay in uni and then they'll go. Like, I've got a few properties that are like aren't students, but the workers, like, so they might be, they'll have a bar job in town or. And they'll like work all different shifts, and so say all your mates go back, you live in Ireland, all your mates go back and you're left here, you've got a job in the Royal Hospital nurse or get a job, you can't then go, oh fuck, I'm going to go out now and pay 800 quid rent, council tax 1200 quid and live on my own. Like me there, I didn't want to live on my own, so they'll go and get in a house share, so it might be 350, like a month instead of like 1200 quid a month. Get all the bills, house is nice, and they're living with people they want to live with. Yeah. So it's these HMOs, I think it is good on one side, but on the other side, where are these people who are earning 700 quid a month and can only afford to pay 350? Where are they all going to go? No, like, because if you're a single, you don't want to be paying 1200 quid. No, like, that's, some people are only on that a month, so it's like, it's getting that level.
Balance.
That's it really. So it's like, people in the area don't want the HMOs, and then so I feel sorry on them. But then on the other side, where are all these people going to go? No, like,
it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So is that what the government's trying to do?
Council, only the Liverpool council. I don't know if other councils, but they brought out Article 4 in Anfield. So they were getting loads of HMOs for Airbnbs. Smithdown, Kensington.
Is that because of the match, do you reckon, as well, Anfield?
Yeah, that's it. Anfield's the match, nearly the footy. So they were getting busy. Where else was Smithdown, Kensington, and that was it really. I think off the top of my head, there was a few other areas, but they kind of, I think it was, if it was over 10%, they stopped it. But again, it's like, where do these people live then? No,
it's true, mate. Yeah, don't think about that. Yeah,
that's it. It's all right saying fuck them off, and I can see both sides of it. You know what I mean? Not as a landlord going fucking greedy, like. I'm not really asked. I'm moving around now. I'm not doing all HMOs.
It's not the same in London. Like, that's just Liverpool County. There's not like in London.
Council brought it in, but we don't know whether big developments going on in town. The student block's empty, so it's like the council bring it in to try and get their student blocks filled. No, like, you know what I mean? So it's like.
There's always
another episode.
Another episode now.
Council and fucking housing, like, fucking hell.
But it's
because mate, they can't get rid of HMOs in London then, because fucking hell, everyone I know shares a house. They just cannot afford to.
Mate, I was dating a girl, mate, in London years ago, and she was paying something like fucking, I think it was like £1,200 a month for a fucking room.
Yeah.
In a 3-bed flat. And she had the smallest room.
One of my mates is looking for a place in London, and he's saying, do you know any contacts? So I've got a few people in London who asked me for properties, got places up there, so sent a few messages out. Someone online sent me some pictures, fucking shocking. It was like $2,500 a month. Should see the pictures. It was absolutely, I'll show you them after this, and they were just terrible, like. But down here, the level, like, you've got it after. I have my student houses and properties. It's easier to rent if they're nicer spec and you get less headaches. Like one of the student houses there, I I didn't want Libby to go into it because the spec it was our house was battered. We had cracked tiles, waiting for being going on all these cracked tiles for ages. But we go in, big American fridge, you know, like, this was a few years ago when we got this done as well, and I remember it going in.
Student house was better than yours.
Oh, lad, it was boss, you know, like everyone goes in going, wow, boss this, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's next level, like, but you've got to keep it that way, you know what I mean?
It must be hard with students, though, like, because, like, are they...
Sometimes you get
Sometimes,
it. Like,
yeah.
You get a great bunch, you know, like, I used to, when they move in, case of lager, a few bottles of wine, or stuff like that, Easter, go around with fucking Easter eggs and stuff, and it was sound, or like, then some of them, they just come to the end and they just trash the house, and you're like, wow, no, like,
Yeah, mate.
nightmare, you know what I mean? I just say to them, I won't charge them for a clean, like, I've got to send cleaners in anyway. Some landlords are like, oh, the door handle's wobbly, that's £8.50, you know, like, I'm just like, get them out, no, I'll pay the deposits back. I just say, don't leave loads of stuff, because each room leaves 2 or 3 bin bags. They leave my waste is the fridge and the freezer, and like, I ring them and I go, why have you left them? And they're like, oh, we thought you might want them. And I'm like, why would I want frozen fish fingers? They're like, open. Like, why would I want? I've got 6 or 7 fridges in this house full of fucking smiley faces and stuff. Like, I'm alright, I know, like, thanks for the thought, but you've been it. And like,
Yeah.
the cleaners might not get in there for a week or 2, and then stuff starts
What's
stinking.
like the worst tenant story you've got?
Good question.
What was the worst one?
Not even like financially, might be financially, but just left you with a sour taste.
I had 3 tenants move into an house, and I met one of them at the house, and the girl was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. They wanted to move in early, and I was like, sound. The house is done, no, like, sound. But I said to them, I haven't had time to get the cleaners, no, like, what I do, I get the cleaners in, get rid of it all, the handyman in, and then the cleaners go back in, no, like, just give a bit of a tidy, probably half an hour. Said the cleaners haven't had a chance to go back in, so if there's anything, don't worry. She was like, Sam, don't worry, thanks for letting us move in. Rent, like, didn't charge them any extra rent. I just said, Sam, it's empty anyway, it's better. They were like, oh, great. And so they moved in. Then the dad and the other girl turned up, and the dad rang me, and he was like, oh yeah, we're just wondering, we need CCTV, we need floodlights, we need an alarm system, and 2 more locks on each bedroom door. And I was like, are you messing? He was like, and there's dust on the window ledge. And they just give me a list of everything, and I was like, wow, Noreen. I was like, fucking, at the time, I think we'd just been for a scan, the baby, we were having a scan for the baby, and I was like, no, what? And then I was like, I'll try and sort stuff. I sent the cleaner around straight away. And then he was just like, listing off no more and more stuff, and I just said, no mate, I think you need to find another house. I was like, I can't put an alarm system in CC. I ended up spending like $4,000 doing all these jobs. You wanted new tellies and everything, and I was like, the house was sound, like, and when I said that to him, he went, oh yeah, no, what, it's alright actually, isn't it? And I was like, okay, they were just trying to get what they can, though, like, and don't get me wrong, like, you do bend over backwards for some tenants, you know what I mean? Most of them are alright, no, like, being 1 or 2.
Because I think that's one thing that can probably put people off, don't you?
Yeah,
You think tenants, you think,
yeah.
for example, you know, you made a great, you said it in a good way, where you go, if someone's, you know, finally got the house paid off mortgage-wise, the 50 odd, and then, you know, the young son comes on, Mum, Dad, you know, why don't we remortgage, and we can do this and we can do that. You know, them off, say, 50,
Yeah.
and if they've worked all their life to own the house, and then they've heard all the nightmare stories of tenants, they're not going to be in a rush to go and do it, are they?
No.
Even if it does make financial sense.
Yeah.
But them girls end up turning out to be sad tenants. It was just the parents, no, like, but most of them, I don't think, I'm quite a sound landlord, no, like, well, I think I am, no, like, they've got a problem, I'll try and sort it, no, I always try and help them out, as I say. But some tenants, you're just like, with students, like, I don't know, one there, I had one, they were all living in the house, 8 of them, and they hadn't paid one of them hadn't paid the rent. But like, sometimes I'll just leave, I won't chase them, I just, stupidly, I'll just go, leave it. They might like, I've forgotten, or anything. So I'll ring them like 2 weeks later, have you got your rent? They'll probably all, someone will watch this and I'm going, fuck that, I'm not paying me rent now, it doesn't look. But like, rang him and I was like, hey, mate, you haven't paid your rent? And he was like, oh yeah, I'm waiting for my student loan. I was like, okay, they said anything because everyone else had theirs? And he was like, no. And I was like, have you chased them? And he was like, no. And I was like, what are you waiting for? And I'm like, what do you want me to do? And he was like, yeah, I'll sort it. So I was like, alright. A few weeks later, I was like, I don't want to put pressure on him. He's in uni studying, no, like, I know I'm going to get me money, you know what I mean? So, rang him about 3 weeks later. Hey, mate, you got your rent? And he went, oh, yeah, know what? I've got to ring the student union about my loan. I was like, have you rang them? He was like, no, I'm meant to. I was like, this is 3 weeks now, mate. Like, 5 weeks, you know, now. And he was like, yeah, I'll sort it. So then, fucking give him another week, ring him. He goes, yeah, what they said is they're going to email me. And I went, when? And he said, they were going to email me a few days ago. And I was like, so what have they said? And he's like, oh, I haven't rang them. I was like, but they're a week behind. Then his ma rang me. And I was like, she was like, do you think he's alright? And I was like, I don't live with him, no rain. I was like, he's behind on his rent. And she went, oh, he'll have to move home then. And I was like, he's got to pay his rent. I was like, I think he's going through a bad time. I'm going to have a word with him. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? And then it ended up like 3 months now, like ringing him every few weeks. And I went around and knocked on the door, and his room door, and I was like, shouting his name and not answering. I said to his mate, is he in? He was like, he was. And I was thinking the worst had happened, you know what I mean? And then I just rang his phone and he answered on the other side of the door. And I was like, don't worry about it, mate. No, we'll get it sorted as long as you're having a go at getting it and just not sitting there waiting for them to knock on my door with the money. But yeah, it's sometimes you end up babysitting them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, especially with students, mate. Yeah.
But,
did you have any bad?
Mate, I just remember like
not paying.
no, I paid.
Tom sitting there nervous, going shit. I my landlord.
No, I just remember, I mean, this is a bit of a cunty sort of thing, but I just remember the landlord telling us, he was going like, listen, bills are included, all bills, heating, everything. And I remember it was winter in Leeds, and we had our heating on, must have been for like fucking 4 months non-stop. Yeah. And I'm going, we must be in profit here now, boys. Like, by day 10, we're in profit. The heating's been on completely for 80 days, but...
On purpose, just to try and
just because bills are included, so you're like, fuck it.
Yeah, there's a cap on it.
Oh, is there?
On my contract, they'll say there's a cap, but I just got a contract from the agents. So, but I never cap it. I don't check it. No, like I can't be asked going, oh, you've gone £4 over this month. Don't get me wrong, there was a group and
probably some.
Yeah, and the gas, it was coming in like £250 a month. I was like, what are these doing? It's going past all the windows open. I was like, don't they know what's turning the heating off? So I spoke to them, but it was the gas company. I'd not messed it up.
Right.
So they owed me money, they gas company. It was like £250 a month, but then I was like 3 months on the boat, so I was like, fucking taking the piss here. Rang the gas company and they were like,
see that, you're just a horrible student, Tom.
Yeah, mate.
I've gone in though and they've gone away for like 3 weeks for Christmas and it's fucking roasting of like eating on there. I'm just like, just turn it off, but they go, oh, like, I don't really, it's only if it's major.
Yeah.
There is some landlords who'll be like, right, and then the tenants are scared to like, like, right, we'll only put the heating on when we're all in. You know what I mean? Someone had the heating on when we were out, so they're like having murder. Yeah. You had a bath. But like,
what's that bad?
Yeah, that's it. I jump in next, but they're like,
just being reasonable in
it. It's.
Hey, where can you see, like you said, when you first started off and you were jumping from bought your mum's house to then the 9-bed, and you've gone on and some of the bigger stuff you've done. Where can you see yourself in 10 years? Have you thought like you want a certain amount of properties, or you want to be just sourcing stuff, you want to be managing it, you want to take a step back? I mean, where do you...
To be honest, I'm kind of locking deals in with like my properties, kind of tying tenants in or stuff like that, and people who want the long-term contracts. So I'm kind of doing a few of them, building up my portfolio, but then helping people know, like, some investors will come to me and I'll just do a profit share with them and go, right, we'll buy this, it's going to be a profit increase and I'll take a percentage. So if we don't have that profit increase, I don't make any money and they don't know, like, I've wasted all my time. Theirs is always going to go up at some point, you know what I mean? If it's 10 years time, they're still going to make, so I'm doing a few of them and sourcing as well. To be honest, I got to a point where I was like, right, I'm fed up now. Like, I was talking to the lads, they've all got normal jobs, and I was thinking, I'd sell up, get a nice car, we can have a nice car, we're mortgage free, done, and just get a normal job. And then I was like, no, that 70 grand thing, it was an headache, but I've had headaches like that, and I've gone, yeah, I knew I could do that. But when it was happening, I was like, this is fucking never happening again. I'll never put myself under this pressure. A few weeks later, someone comes with an offer, and I'm like,
go on then.
Yeah, go ahead, I'll go with this. But it's obviously I probably do the sourcing and stuff. It's good money, and the years experience I've got, because a lad rang me and he went, hey, what did he say? If you got a good solicitor there? And I was like, yeah, I'd recommend him. He was like, okay, I bought these 2 properties at auction in Kensington. I was like, hell, you've done well to get them, like cheap, because what the rental income, for the price of it, the rental income's not like, you can't do the HMOs there. So he went, oh yeah, I'm going to turn them into HMOs. He was like, I've just sourced them for some Londoner. And I was like, you can't fucking do HMOs there, no, like, that area. He was like, oh no, you can just sell the council that you're going to do an HMO, and they'll let you. I was like, no, you can't, no, like. So he was like, shit, oh fuck, he's paid the auction fees, like, I think he spent 15 grand and he charged them 6 grand. I was like, wow, know what I mean? So like, there's people out there doing that.
Like cowboys,
yeah, and they're just, they're sourcing properties and loads of people are getting burnt. No, like, I won't sell, as I say, I won't sell shit. No, like, if it doesn't work, I'd just rather go. I could make an easy 3 grand, know what I mean? And go next, no, like, but I've only got a certain amount of investors. I've got a waiting list of people wanting to buy stuff, and I put stuff on me Instagram sometimes, no stuff available, and it'll go pretty quick, know what I mean? I'll have a load of people messaging, but because I've got that many investors messaging me, I'm like, instead of messaging everyone individual and then picking who's first or whatever, I'll just put it out there, no, like, if I haven't got someone perfect for it.
I think it's good how you do, because you break it down, don't you? There's a property there where if 200 grand you need X amount deposit, fees will be this much, mortgage will be that, and then at the end of it your monthly fee will be that, but you'll get in this, and you break it down as basic as you can. That's really, don't you?
Like, some people will come to me and go, alright, Sand, I'll have that, will you manage it? And I was thinking of going down that route, because like, say a property you're bringing in 2 grand a month, 10%, I make 200 quid a month and it's done. No, like, I've 10 of them, there's 2 grand a month, just sit. But I was like, I'm not good at that. No, like, at the moment, that's not where I'm good, so I'm not going to risk my reputation trying to just make an extra few quid by going. So I'll pass it on to a management team, like another agent. I'll just go, whoever we buy it off, we'll use them, try them out. And there is some shocking agents out, but it is an hard game, because you don't know how good the tenant's going to be, you know what I mean? Tenant can look great on paper, and then they can be the worst.
Like Tom leaving us fucking eating up.
Yeah.
6 of us.
No one's moved in the house.
I know.
Still eating on.
Mate, what about commercial property? Get involved in that, or just all residential?
Yeah, I've got a commercial property. I was looking at one by the live buildings, to be honest. And in town at the moment, I'm like, certain commercial property, I'm like, I wouldn't touch, because a lot of companies are shutting down and everyone's going online, Amazon.
Yeah.
People are more going to like industrial units, not for like packaging. Probably
warehouse and that sort of thing.
Like the likes of JD and stuff, they've probably got a massive warehouse that's doing more money than the shop on Paradise Street, know what I mean? Because that was by the live building, it was facing the live building, I was thinking it's ideal. No, like, they're never going to knock the live buildings down, know what I mean? A restaurant there. So like commercial stuff, if it's got someone signed up for it for like 10 years or something, I'll look at it, or depending though, like, if it works certain areas, know what I mean? Like a commercial unit on Lark Lane, Alton Road, no matter what happens, they're going to rent all day. But then certain areas, no, like, there's only 2 or 3 shops left.
Yeah. Mate, some of the, I know, like, just through work actually, like some of the, like by Manchester Airport, the Hook Group have just opened a new, like, distribution centre, I think.
Like massive one as you're coming on the motorway, haven't they?
Yeah, on the M62, on the, as if you're going into Liverpool on your left, fucking massive, isn't it? The Hook Group.
Oh yeah.
You just see TH, I think it's just.
But there's one by Warrington, isn't it?
That might be the one.
That's one, yeah.
Amazon, Donamos and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's
those big like the distribution centres and things like that. Amazon, fucking hell. I think I told you that during COVID there was a guy who we knew. Amazon bought his business. Cardboard packaging company, right? Just had a normal cardboard packaging company, nothing crazy, like 12, 15 employees, whatever. COVID hit, obviously everyone was ordering online, so cardboard boxes being delivered. Amazon bought the business off him for cash for like 12 mil.
Sound that, ain't it? That's what you want. That's what I'm saying. Some companies have gone mad. No, like Amazon is absolutely. How many people have ordered off Amazon that wouldn't normally? Do you know what I mean? But then other companies.
Imagine companies though who've got, you know, everyone in an office and they've signed up for a 10-year lease.
Oh, that's it.
Paying fucking, you know, 10 grand a month.
Yeah. It's sound for people who are kind of coming to the end of the lease. The government were giving grants for people to work from home, laptops and stuff like that. They had a good child for 6 months and then go, fucking not renewing the lease now. So there'll be loads of office units empty now.
100%, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Because the people working from home, they're like, you'd rather would like parking in town. 12
Yeah,
quid a
big
day or
star,
something.
mate.
I think my sisters were both working from home, but now they've both been told to go to work. I think this working from home, I don't think it'll last long now.
Yeah.
I think people will be saying flexi time. I think businesses will be saying get your fucking asses back in.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
We've got even for that reason, we've got a lease, and
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
And then when last summer, everyone was fucking. And the amount of people I've spoken to go, yeah, working from home was great. I was sat outside, fucking beer in my hand.
how many bosses are sitting there going, oh, is he? It's not happening in my work. But if I was a manager and I had an office and I was paying bloody 10 grand a month, my business was for this office space, why would I say to everyone work from home?
But then you've got your gas lecky, stuff like that. You probably see
like facilities managers, if you've got big
receptionist.
Still low. I don't know. It's a tough one, innit, for managers, yeah. It's interesting.
And then the other side of one person comes in with COVID at the moment, it's like bang, whole office, everyone's off for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Yeah,
so they've got to be careful. I think you're right. I think that flex where the
just come in 3 days a week.
Work 2 days at home.
I'd be like, I want Mondays off and I want Fridays off.
14 hours.
I'll come in Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, stinking of ale because I've been away all weekend.
But yeah, sometimes I think, how do them flexi works? No, like, you ring up an office and they're like, oh yeah, they're off now for 4 days. No, like, they cancel with them and you're just like, fucking hell.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah. But,
mate, what on your Instagram then, is that the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so...
and what would you say then as well, like, if... Again, I want to get you on because it's an informative pod, I think, because I think property is, super interesting for people, and like you say, it can be people's livelihoods, really, can't it? What would you say then? It's not the criteria, but what would you say if anyone's interested to get hold of you?
I'm going to get loads of messages. I've got
you might just, I mean...
No, what?
You might want people messaging you going, lad, what's the difference between interest only and... You know what? Or you might want, fucking hell, if you don't know that, then don't get in touch. I don't know what do you...
if people mess me question, I will answer. No, like, I do answer question. No, like, I won't just go on me inbox and just go delete all. No, like, any messages coming in. I do try and help people. No, like, put them in touch with a broker but like, a lot of people will go, right, I'm looking to buy a property. What can I... Best thing for people to do first is go and find a broker. No, like, a mortgage broker, and put you in touch with one. They message me and find out what you can borrow. No, like, and then what deposit they need, or it's
better if they come with that info to you.
That's it. And then if they think, because I'll sit down with people, I'll charge like X amount to kind of sit down with someone and go, right, let's go through your plan, because you might have like 100 grand and you want to make that 100 grand to 200 grand in 5 years, but you might have 100 grand and you want to go and buy 4 houses and just have a steady income, £600 a month profit or whatever. So like, everyone differs, no, like, so I'll sit down with people and go, right, if they come to me and go, right, I've got 200 grand, I won't be able to message them on Instagram just back and forth, right? I'll sit down with them for a coffee for like 2 hours and go, right, this is my fee. I'll sit down, set up a plan for you and go through, like, the best steps, where you've got to go and stuff like that. Because as well, what I find is people will know someone who's got property, like, but they haven't got the time to tell them, like, speaking to one of the lads there, he was the same. People ring him all the time and go, what do you reckon of this? And they're sending them houses every day, and they're like, you're looking at it going through the pictures going, oh, fucking shite that, like, send it back, I'll know, wouldn't offer that. And then by the time you've got a chance to look at it, say they send you it, with your sister there, they send you the property and you go, right, I'll have a look at that. 2 days later you have a look and you go, I'd offer this. They ring up and they go, sold yesterday, that mate, like, it's too slow. So I'm that person that kind of goes, right, let's set a plan, know what I mean? Instead of going out with that 200 grand, just going and buying a load of crap. No, like, I'll sit down with them. But yeah, if people mess me questions, I can.
But obviously people don't need 200 grand, do they?
No, it can be like different. No, like, some people might have 5 grand or whatever, that rent to rent. No, like, that might be an option. You can find landlords, so you'll have a look, and it might be a student landlord. He's like, I can't be arsed not doing the refurb or dealing with it. You could go in there, say to him, I'll give you a month's rent, deposit, 600 quid. It's got an HMO licence, but it needs a full decor, no, like, redecorate it, bit of new furniture and stuff. And then you start renting it out, and you've got 6 people in there, 2 grand a month. You're only giving him 6 ton, covering all your bills. And then...
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, it's good, yeah.
Doing that.
You don't actually own the property then, you're just renting it off him?
Yeah, and subletting it, but he hasn't got that. So it could be someone's dad's died, and they can't release the money from that property because it's it's in negative equity, so they can't sell it. Do you know what I mean? So they're trying to find the mortgage payments, but they haven't got the $5,000 to do the upkeep. You know what I mean? So it's like someone might come in there. I've got one there that I bought about 2 years ago. Bought it for 200, spent 30 on it in total. Cost 230, valued up at 300. So I remortgaged it, got 225 out, and I had that on a bridge. So ended up with $5,000 tied in. The interest only was 600, and I was struggling to get tenants and stuff. Just didn't have time to manage it. So this lad come to me and went, I'll rent it off you for $2,000 a month. Sound like being mates with him for a while. He said, I'll give you $2,000 a month. The rental income, 9 rooms, you can probably get about $3,500. So he said, COVID's happened and that. I said, I don't want it to fuck it up. Just give me $1,750 and we'll sit down. Or like in a few months when it's fully tenanted and we'll have a look at it. So he rents that off me now, $1,750. I've got a mortgage of $600 and then probably insurance of $150. So I make $1,000 a month and I've got my money out. He's now renting them rooms out, the 9 rooms, and he gets about $3,500, 3,200 I think he gets. Gives me $1,750, covers the bills.
Everyone's
he's making
happy.
$1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Everyone's happy.
But I just haven't got time to deal with the tenants. So
the hassle and
I'm happy. I've got my money out. I'm making good money. He's making money, but it's just finding that landlord who just goes, that's easy. So I've got investors who are kind of looking, like they can sit there and go, I can make 3,200, but then they've got management fees, voids, maintenance. So it's just easy to kind of. So there is loads of options. Like as I say, people don't need $25,000 to go into like. They can go for the rent to rent. They can go for the Airbnb, and just like sourcing, stuff like that. But it is like where they say, there's no money. You don't need any money. You do like.
You need.
You can say that about anything. You can go on a night out with no money. You got to bum jigs off your mates all night. You know what I mean? So like,
mind sweeping all night. Yeah.
That's it.
Mate, it's been great. Have you got anything else,
enjoyed this,
Tom?
mate. Yeah. No. Really enjoyed this, mate. Yeah.
Something a bit different for the people. Hopefully, if you're interested, get in touch. What's your Instagram?
Kieran Malone Properties. Took me ages to come up with that name.
Anything else you want to finish on?
No, thanks for having me.
Mate, thank you. Thanks for your time as well,
I'm as nervous as I thought. Probably watch it back and go, now. I'm nervous there. Okay. It's
Big shout out again to Montrex. Don't forget, if you want any Montrex gear, it's leg it at checkout for 15% off. Don't forget to check out Kieran Malone Properties if you want to get involved in that.
I'll put the link in the description, mate, so people will start pinging you with your message straight away from Monday morning.
Make sure you follow, subscribe, tell your mates about it, and we're going to put in a little deal with Kieran now, a little 1%, anyone who comes back on these.
Code like it.
And if all your bills are included, don't forget to turn your eating off.
Thank
you, mate.
Nice one.
Cheers, Bob.
Cheers.